us humans and how it really could be. Human beings today are the most amazing animals that this world has ever seen. Let me tell you a true story that you have never heard before about we human beings, how we actually behave. It is a story of real economics, real capitalism, real science, real religion, real politics, real life. If it were not for crime, this world we all find ourselves living in would be so very wonderful that no one could recognize it as Earth life. We would all think we had magically been transported to some kind of heaven. The economics we have all been taught is false and untrue. It has been to the benefit of a small, rich, powerful elite over thousands of years to tell us all a false and misleading story of human life here on Earth. At first you may find my story to be very hard to believe, but I will carefully explain to you why it is all true. Look around you today. What do you see? You see what we call infrastructure. Houses, buildings of all sorts, roads, freeways, airplanes, cars, trucks, vast amount of underground facilities such as pipes, tunnels, wires, fiber optics. There are many space satellites, universities, businesses, factories, and much more. Modern humans can produce and build things much faster than Mother Nature lately has been able to destroy them. This is a fact. A real fact of modern life. And this observable fact is very true in spite of all the crime and all the violence of all human history. Now try to imagine for a moment how much better it would all be today if there had been no crime, no wars, no human-caused violence. And here is one more challenge. Just try to imagine how it would all be if there had been no fiat money systems, only honest money systems, from the very beginning until today. Fiat money is a crime. Modern humans have been living here on Earth for less than 200,000 years. Before that, our distant ancestors knew nothing of spoken language, written language, art, science, math, logic, buildings, infrastructure, pipes, wires, metals. They lived in a world of trees and rocks and simple primitive stone tools. They were always on the move looking for food. They could never stay put in one place for more than a few months, at which point they would have gathered and hunted all the available foods and would have to move on to another campsite. There were no cities, no towns, no villages at all, except a very few at the mouth of some great rivers full of salmon. Most of what these distant human ancestors knew about the world was wrong. They possess none of our modern, true, accurate, useful knowledge of the real physical world. They knew only what it took to barely survive as hunter-gatherers. All the other ideas they had about the real world were false. They did not even know what the stars were, that the Earth was not flat, and the center of the whole world. They had no idea what the sun really was, or how far away it was, or what made it shine during the day and go away at night. All they knew was that without the sun, no food would grow, and no animals would survive. They did not know much about sex and reproduction, but what they did know was that without sex and reproduction, living things would die out after just one generation. So they rightfully worshipped both sexual reproduction and the sun. They were at least that wise and knowledgeable. But most of the world we have here today was not even imaginable to any of them. Even the very smartest of them could never have dreamed of the wonders we all take for granted here today. Chapter 1. We humans are by far the most cooperative animals that have ever lived on planet Earth. When I say this, I am speaking of normal large animals, and not of bees and termites and ants. Those bugs are very cooperative, but they are not useful for us to think about in connection to human-type cooperation. Because it is our human cooperation that has allowed us to become what we are, in some ways, masters of the Earth. This, of course, is not to suggest that bacteria and virus could not someday wipe us all totally out. The point is to notice that we humans are the ones who built all this infrastructure that has made our life so much better than it was for our ancestors, and it just keeps getting better and better every day, in spite of the more than 200 global problems that we now face. The single thing that has made humans able to create and produce all this infrastructure is our cooperative nature. The next most intelligent and cooperative species of animals are chimps, propose, dolphins, and whales, but none of these has produced any useful lasting infrastructure to help them have a better life. They are all still wild, while we have become almost totally domesticated today. Wild humans are very rare. Today we all cooperate with each other, and we live in bands, tribes, families, in various social and cultural groups. None of us today live solo, like some apes still do. We are the most social, and the most cooperative of all the intelligent large animals. How did this come to be the case? The main key to our cooperation and success today probably is due to our learning to speak. Verbal communication is probably the single most important aspect of our cooperative human nature. Written language came much later, and is still not universal among humans, but all humans speak highly developed and complex languages. This all started probably some 40,000 or so years ago. Some 75,000 years ago a supervolcano on Toba blew up and killed most of the humans alive on Earth at the time. A few thousand survived around the world, and they are our ancestors. They eked out a living until they learned to speak, and then things started to really improve for them. Then at the end of the last ice age some 10 or 12,000 years ago, things really started to change real fast as our ancestors began to experiment with growing their own food and herding ranch animals. Agriculture took off fast and became the most important food source for most people on Earth by now. With it came an end to the nomadic lifestyle that had served our ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. And this was the birth of infrastructure of all kinds, what we see and live with today everywhere on Earth that humans live. It is this long-lasting infrastructure that makes our good life possible today. And the key to it all is knowledge. Chapter 2: Accurate Knowledge. The one word that describes what human life on Earth is all about today is knowledge. Accurate, useful, important, relevant knowledge. And there are today two basic ways we all get this: science and religion. Whichever way gets it best for us is the way we should thank for our wonderful, advanced, comfortable, safe lifestyles of today. It is our accurate, useful knowledge that drives our real economy and our real body politic. We are still the most cooperative animal on Earth. Combine this with our vast new accurate knowledge of everything, and we have built vast cities and other infrastructure that is very much involved with all our lives today, even if we stay home most of the time. Our lives are made possible by production and trade, and the existence of all this vast, seen and unseen, infrastructure. And what about the rights-of-ways for the roads, highways, freeways, trains, buses, cars, trucks, ships, aircraft that move us and all our trade goods all over the world today? These rights-of-ways are all part of our inherited and hard-won infrastructure. We inherit not only all the real, useful, accurate knowledge from the past, but we also inherit all the hard-won rights-of-ways. And what about the human laws? These human laws we associate with governments are a big part of our inherited values. They have been worked out experimentally over the entire life of our settled ancestors. They are 10,000 years old. They represent some of the best thinking of our best men and women, all trying to figure out, to think out, to reason out what is the best way for humans to behave towards each other and towards the whole Earth, the best way to use natural resources, the best way to own property, the best way to pass all this on when we die. All these ideas we call government and laws are part of our hard-won infrastructure of the contributions of those who came before us, passed on to us to benefit from if they are honest and just. Knowledge goes only one way. It can almost never be lost. It almost always is permanent once it is discovered. All the true, useful, accurate knowledge of the real physical world that has ever been discovered is today in use, and is being used to benefit everyone. Crime and violence don't help, but they do not erase past hard-won knowledge. And we are also getting smarter. Intelligence has been on the rise from the beginning, and has never stopped rising. James Flynn discovered that even today, it is on the rise everywhere. So we keep getting smarter. We keep getting more and more accurate knowledge of everything we try to discover. We keep building and producing faster than Mother Nature can destroy. We keep recycling metals and other natural and human-made resources. We keep producing and saving tools and factories, and this is what is called capital. Capital is always on the rise, and this makes each hour of human labor more and more productive. And when these benefits are shared in a just and fair way with others, life for everyone just keeps getting better and better. Just try to imagine for one moment how wonderful your 95 years of Earth life could be if there were no more crime, no more fiat money, no more central banks, no more ignorance, No more false and wrong knowledge. No more stupidity. No more fear. Fear, stupidity, and crime and fiat money are not at all necessary to be any part of human life on Earth today. They still exist, and have been here along with all the good stuff from the beginning. But we can work to reduce them, and think how much better life would be for everyone the more those undesirable elements of human nature are reduced. All the things I have covered here so far are both accurate, correct, and obvious once they are pointed out. Why is it that we don't already understand all this? I think that the people who run things today feel it is in their best interest to keep us distracted, and not to point out how wonderful and safe this world could so easily be for everyone if there just was less crime and no fiat money. Here is the real conspiracy. They run a protection racket on us all. They keep us fearful of many things, thus being able to sell us their protection and their insurance. They run a fiat money system with their central banks that robs us daily of much of the benefits of our vast infrastructure, both the part we inherited and the part we produce with our labors. They live in luxury and we get the leftovers. Here is what we need to learn to do. We need to stop believing their lies. We need to turn off the news from the major media, cause they own all the major media. They own the news. They use the news to lead to us and to distract and confuse us so we can't see how wonderful life could be if it were not for them, and what they steal from us all the time. They try to point out to us the minor crimes and minor criminal behavior of the few while making us blind to the major crimes that they commit all the time, such as wars and fiat money systems, and the Fed and other central banks. They have a name they call all those good people who try hard to tell this story to you. They call us conspiracy theorists. Shut off their TV and start to just look around and think. You will see that my story is the real one. Their story is all one big lie. The global infrastructure and the vast accurate knowledge of the current world testifies to the accuracy of my story. The lie story fades to black when you shut off their TV and newspapers and magazines and books. The real world is the only testimony I need to prove that mine is the true accurate story of human life on Earth today. You don't even really need to know any history. Just shut off the lies of the ruling elite and look around you at the vast and amazing human-produced infrastructure. The end, for now.